I'm Zach and Mr. Will. Yeah. Why would we need a ghillie suit when we're talking about a suburban environment?
You never know what you need when you need it sometimes.
That's true. And concealing is kind of an important part of surviving.
So Zach, is this going to work if I'm standing up against the brick wall of my house?
No, probably not.
Okay, so this is going to be more of a natural setting, kind of like what we got going on behind.
This is. And so I believe we have two different kinds of ghillie suits. Will, what color scheme do you have going?
Mine's a little more woodland camo,
Okay.
so deeper greens, some browns, high level.
Mine is definitely that like dry brush kind of look.
Okay, so just give you an idea of where we are geographically.
Exactly. And you're seeing a lot of pine trees in the background and some green grass in the background, and that's probably what's going to make it look pretty green. But like down into the brush, I might be able to slip away.
You're going to blend it nicely down.
I might. We'll see what it looks like. But we're going to go ahead and try these on. Today we're going to see what it looks like from a distance through the camera. We're going to see what it looks like up close. I have a feeling that yours is actually going to blend in better.
We'll see.
All right, let's find out.
All right, I like wearing these gloves. They're thin, they're lightweight, very breathable, but still give my hands a little protection and make them look a little less like hands. And this is basically, it's a net, and all of this juke cording has been tied onto the net here. So I can replace things as I need to. The trick is always finding the right places to push everything in. Looking good.
Mine's significantly different than Will's because mine has like full jacket that you button up, pants you actually put both legs in. It's got a separate scarf piece, separate face piece right here, like so. It's got a lot of full coverage right here. Now Will's is definitely going to be a lot easier in my opinion. In fact, I'm a little jealous of his at this point. So I have this bright red color. How visible was the bright red color underneath the ghillie suit?
I don't see it as terribly visible close up, but I want to see if it makes a difference when I'm trying to find it at a distance. I like that it just went over my head, and I can get it. If I'm lying down, I've got this part that's going to cover my back, so I've still got a lot of mobility in my legs. But I'm guessing if I'm in a ghillie, I'm going to be laid to the ground.
Yeah, so I imagine like if you're going to be low to the ground, using a ghillie, of course, you're going to hide, you're going to be low, you're not going to be standing up in the middle of the street or in the field, right? This, to me, makes a lot of sense because, number one, it's really easy to throw on, really easy to throw off, as you know, into, and it covers the whole back. So if he's laying prostrate on the ground, then he's going to have a significantly better time concealing. I think I could bunch up into a ball with this. We're not sure yet exactly how this is going to be effective. I think we're ready to go try these out. So let's do a little test. I can go first. Will can go first. What do you want to do? I don't know. Let's rock, paper, scissors. Just go. Oh. All right, guys. So simply put, what I'm seeing is Will is actually rolling around in the dirt out there. It's pretty amusing. So I'm taking a wide shot at a glance. I'm not seeing him. I can barely tell where he is. If I zoom in, I'm gonna try to find, I think I spotted it right there. But at a glance, I wouldn't notice him. Like if he is out in the middle of where there's a lot of leaves, it'd be easier to see him. But if he were to be like up next to a tree, near other bushes, I think that would be more effective. What I'm gonna do right now is we're gonna see what he looks like. We're gonna follow him all the way out there. Okay, so let's go. So where is he at? I sort of lost him a little bit. There we go. Now from this angle, this is hard to see. I've spotted him already, but this is a little hard to see. I can't be sure if that's him until I see his legs. So if he could figure out how to cover up those legs, but as long as he knows that he is facing me, then he'd be completely covered. Let's get a little closer look here and see how realistic this looks. So I think from a distance, this is definitely effective. Close up, maybe not so much. Hey, Will.
Hey, guys.
How do you start it off, Will? What was your tactic?
Just kind of fell on the ground and made leaf angels.
Leaf angels.
Yes. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't have to get too far back into the woods, and I felt like I could disappear a little bit, which was nice in a pinch. Thought it was interesting to hear you talk about when you walked around a little bit how easily you could see my legs. So that might be one downside to my ghillie suit.
Right. Yes. When I've seen ghillie suits, like the big professional ones, they are massive, like just absolutely huge. His is really fluffy. Mine definitely sags a lot more. Really big professional ones, they are just so big, they sort of like morph into the ground. So instead of it creating like a body shape when you're laying on the ground, it is just so huge.
Yeah.
It's taking over an area. I don't think you could go wrong by getting size extra, extra, extra large when you're getting a ghillie suit, because you're probably going to be wanting to wear a couple things underneath it, right? And so I try to get a pretty big size. But again, this was a fairly inexpensive first buy on my part. There are some other things that I wouldn't call them ghillie suits, but it's definitely like fall time nature camo that I've seen.
I think like the leafy cutout.
There's the leafy cutout jackets, yeah.
And the idea is to break up your silhouette so you don't look as person-like.
Exactly, yeah. And I think, that may help really well for like hunting, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you would break up the pattern of what looks like a human, the skin color, the hair, all that sort of thing. But let's give this a try and let's see how I do. I'm gonna go hide over in the spot behind me, and he's gonna try to find me right now. So let's figure this out.
Zach is out getting himself situated. I feel like he's gonna be pretty good at this. He's got some cleverness to him that just is outside the box. Gonna turn around and start looking for him. Kind of seeing something a little lighter right about there. Let's go see. I do think, yep, that's Zach. With this kit, I think we need Zach too. Add some more foliage to it. I don't know that it would catch my attention if I were just walking by and not looking for him, but we can definitely see a difference in the color scheme. Okay, so here I can start to see his boots. Still not seeing his red shirt through the ghillie suit, so that's good. That's great that it's concealing that in case he had to throw this on a pinch and didn't really get to choose what he had on underneath it. How are you feeling in that?
Well, I did lay down in some thorns.
Oh, yay.
I realize there are a lot of factors here. If you are wearing a ghillie suit that's going to catch on things, if you're going to be, getting caught up in the brush, you're going to be pulling that with you once you start moving. Finding the right kind of environment where you are going to be able to hide. Like my boots, big black boots, they're going to pop out like I thought they would.
My thought would be is if you needed to do this and you had the time, I would be working some pine straw into the suit.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, good point. I have collected, just completely unintentionally, a lot of leaves on these pants anyway, but I bet I could look how easily like the pine needles have just fallen right into there, right? So they grasp on pretty good. So I think you have a really good point. If I worked it into the environment, I just roll around there, crawl under it, throw it on top of myself, that would probably be the absolute best way to do it.
I think an extra 2 minutes could make a huge difference.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Yours is very monotone as it is.
It's super monotone. Yours has a little bit of depth to it. I think I just need more contrast.
Mm-hmm. Let's pay attention to where are we operating?
Environment.
Yeah, where are we going to be wearing this thing? Like I bought this, just one, it was kind of cool and I like this stuff and I want to play with it. But this is also great for turkey hunting, what we are. Because I can sit down by a tree and I look like a bush. So turkeys apparently, I've never asked a turkey, but apparently have elite vision.
That's true. What's at the bottom of the trees? What is the ground usually going to look like?
Right, so Zach's going to go check out these hardwoods for us. We're going to see if this will work better with the suit. Zoom in a little bit. So at this point, Zach almost just looks like a rock sitting there right now. So that stands out a little more. I don't know that it would go unnoticed. I thought your first position there was the best by far. The color blended in very nicely with the bark of the tree. And just the way you were kind of crouched, kneeling there, you looked almost like a rock.
There's two good things happening here. It's going to overexpose a lot of things to our eyes. Everything's going to brighten up. And so this brighter color is going to blend in. For example, I was facing the sunlight right there. It lit up this material so much, it was virtually impossible to see through that. I'm wondering, actually, if a better method overall, instead of having all these individual pieces, maybe something a little bit closer to this, but maybe like a big blanket.
Cool.
A blanket that you could just throw completely over you. It would have a lot of fluff to it. You could add a lot of things to it and then slide it over top of you so you could really blend pretty easily with it. Instead of me trying to throw leaves on my back, something like that, I think a blanket might be a really good.
I could see this. I could see that working well if you're staying put in one location. If you needed to get up and move, and you change positions regularly, that might get a little difficult. I don't know.
If you had to get up full standing position and you had to run, then you're not going to worry about what it looks like, because that's going to
get behind at that point.
Yeah, you don't worry about it too much. But if it's a blanket and you're just going to crawl along the ground, I'm thinking maybe something almost poncho-like, not exactly where you put your head through, but take, for example, maybe a combination of this where it's a jacket. Let's see if I can take it right here. There's a jacket that I have right here, and Will has essentially the poncho style right here. So what if it was a blanket that would button together in the front?
Okay.
So almost like poncho that has a little
kind of a clip almost or something.
Yeah, a bit of that. So yeah, like if you imagine like a hood with a cape, right? That's a cloak, right?
Something you could wrap around you.
Yeah.
I can see that. This isn't something that I'm breaking out if we have a hurricane come through. A scenario where things have gone severely bad. We're talking post-Katrina and nobody's coming to help. So now if I need to go out and move about, maybe this is great if dusk or dawn, if I'm trying to move along the tree line. In general, the whole point of this really does have to do with concealment, right? Mm-hmm. It's not going to protect you, but if there is a threat, do you want to be seen by that threat? That's the question. Basically, regardless of the color of your ghillie suit, it would be effective in the dark. But if you are trying to evade and escape, depending on the scenario, depending on what it is, you could use this to get away from a threat. And that's really a big point of what we're trying to stress in this channel, is that if you're in danger, we want to be able to equip you with the things that you need to know in order to be safe. There's yet another use for these ghillie suits. Yeah. And it has to do with psychological warfare. Getting into the minds of the people that are opposed to us, that are opposite of us. I don't know if you're ready for this, but I think we're going to do it. Let's do it.